All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. All right, double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles, the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Dawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right. Let's see here. You know, this is going to be the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 20. Let's start at the top, verse 1. And it says, there is a reproof that is not comely. Again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. Okay? You know, sometimes correction is harsh. Okay? It's not supposed to be, when you tell it like it is to someone, it could come off being offensive, hurtful. But the truth is the truth, right? It's going to tell you like it is, no matter how demeaning or how humiliating or how harsh it may seem or feel. And it says again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. And that's another thing too. Sometimes that old saying, say what you mean what you say, but don't be mean about it. So you gotta you gotta mean what you say, but don't be mean about it. But at the same token, same time, if you know how a person is, sometimes, when you holdeth your tongue, you're found wise, because you know that the words you're about to speak, when they come out, man, it's going to hurt somebody. And there's no telling how they're going to react. So, again, man, as the scriptures say, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So again, some man that holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. So sometimes it's best just to zip it, man. Verse 2, it is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly, and he that confesseth his fault shall be preserved from hurt. Okay? So it's better to, say what you're going to say than to keep it inwardly and it just builds up. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather today. Yeah, so it's better to reprove, to correct, than to be angry secretly. Okay? It's better to get it off your chest than to let it sit there and fester. Okay? And he that confesseth his fault, admits to when he is wrong, shall be preserved from hurt. So, it's better to come forward, and just to, it's better to come forward to, to own up to your mistakes, admit to when you were wrong, admit to a fault, than to be hurt later. Verse 3, how good is it when thou art reproved to show repentance, for so shalt thou escape willful sin. So it's best to when you're being corrected, to show repentance, to show that you'll never make that same mistake again, to show it through your actions. All right? And in these last days, we're going to be tested more and more, so we really have to be mindful of our character, because the people in this society, hold on a sec, we're right here, so that way I can stop squinting. So you have to be mindful of your character, okay? You have to be mindful of your character and how you move, okay? Having a what they call social skills. You know, that's an actual skill. You know, being able to how to deal with people, how to communicate, what to say and what not to say. That is a skill. All right. Yeah, so verse 3 again. How good is it when thou art reproved to show repentance? For so shalt thou escape willful sin. So by showing repentance, you escape willful sin. Okay, you're willing to show that you're not going to do that ever again, or whatever it was that you did. Okay, verse 4. As is the lust of a eunuch to deflower a virgin, so is he that executeth judgment with violence. All right, a eunuch, someone who refrains and abstains from, you know, from a intimate, you know, gratification. And this is the same as, so is he that executed judgment with violence. So, you know, the lust of the flesh, man, okay, that's what we battle on a daily basis, okay? It's our spirit against the flesh, okay? Constantly resisting temptation. That's part of this battle. That's part of this fight, okay? That's part of mastering ourselves, to strive for the masteries, okay? Self-restraint. Verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful. So it's best to stay quiet than to continuously, you know, yap away. Okay? Those who are quiet, they know, those who talk too much, you know, they tend to let things out that they didn't mean, and you know, they let themselves slip. Okay? So the best thing to do is just to keep quiet. Okay? Excuse me, I'm sorry. But yeah, people that babble too much reveal it too much. And plus, someone who just constantly yap, they become annoying. You know, I just want them to shut up. But you know, the person who's quiet, they know when to speak and when not to speak. Okay? And nowadays, especially in this time and day and age, you you know, being quiet can save your life. Verse 6, some man holdeth his tongue because he hath not to answer, and some keepeth silence knowing his time. Okay? Some are quiet because they don't know what to say, and then there are those that, you know, they have what they know what they're gonna say, but they're just waiting for the right moment. Okay? That goes back, you know. In fact, let me get the scripture. Slaki, I'm getting over a slight cold I had over the weekend. Still not over it yet. This is going to the Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, and it says, to everything there is a season, and and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay? Excuse me. Going to verse 2, it says, a time to be born, and a time to die, and a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Verse 3, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Excuse me. So a time to weep and a time to laugh. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Verse 5, and a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones, and a time to embrace, and a time to refrain, and a time to refrain from embracing. Okay, but just to get to the point here. Yep, there it is. Verse 7, a time to rent and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Okay? So there's a time to keep silence, and there's a time to speak. That's the main point I want to get, was in verse 7. But you know, there's a time and place for everything, even when to talk, and even when to be quiet. That's part of the balance, man. It's just, there's a time and place for everything. There's a little bit of time for this and a little bit of time for that. Okay? And it also shows that also shows moderation, that you have shows moderation, that you balance things out. There's a little bit of time for this, a little bit of time for that, and a little bit of time for this, and a little bit of time for that. Okay? You can't do too much of one thing. Okay, that's a false balance, and a false balance is an abomination unto the Lord. Okay? You have to keep things within a certain measure. Now going back to Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach and the Apocrypha, chapter 20. Whew. Oh, I just skipped it. Chapter 20. Okay. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 20, verse 7. It says, a wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity, but a babbler and a fool will regard no time. Okay? So a wise man will hold his tongue until he see opportunity. Once again, when the time is right, that's when he makes his move, or when it's, you know, time to, you know, to voice what he's going to say. But a babbler and a fool regardeth no time. They don't take into account of opportunity. Excuse me, I apologize. But yeah, they don't take that into account. But you know, like I said, is, you know, most of the time it's best to be quiet, not say too much, because you know, something slips, then you know, whatever that you say can be used against you. Because there's always someone watching, and there's always someone listening. Verse 8. He that useth many words shall be abhorred, and he that taketh to himself authority therein shall be hated. Okay? So, he that useth many words shall be abhorred, and he that taketh to himself authority therein shall be hated. Okay? You know, people that take things into their own hands, into their own matter, you know, take matters into their own hands, man. You know, usurping authority over others when they have no authority at all. Okay? People don't respect other people like that. Okay? Verse 9, there is a sinner that hath good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss. So, a gain that can turn to loss. You know, and all the people that have success in doing these evil things, yeah, they gain something, but at the same time, it's a balance, gain and a loss. And what's that gain? You know, whatever it is that they seek. And that loss could be loss of a job, their car, or whatever the case. Okay? There's a gain and loss to everything. Like, look, we came into this truth to gain this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And what are we to lose? You know? Excuse me. But we are to lose, you know, to give up everything for this. Okay? Give up our friend, you know, is like I said, the truth is going to tell you like it is, you know. If your families and your loved ones and your friends and acquaintances, if they're not in on it with you, if they're not in this truth with you, if they're not in on it, that right there just goes to show you, like, that the Lord is choosing you out of all these people. Okay, because this is only for a small handful, the elect. Okay, only a select few individuals are going to get this. Okay, it's not for everybody. You gain this truth, you lose, you lose you lose those friendships you once had, you lose those old habits, and the people of this world, whatever it is that they gain, it becomes a loss to them, But to obtain everything in this world, what's the ultimate loss? Their soul, their life. Okay, they're going to receive judgment by either Esau Edom's military, by famine, by pestilence, or by the ultimate judgment, which is those ICBMs, okay, those nukes. Okay, we are to gain the kingdom, but we have to lose everything on this side. Slovakia. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I'll be over my sickness by the end of the day. But verse 10, there is a gift that shall not profit thee, and there is a gift whose recompense is double. Verse 11, there is an abasement because of glory, and there is that lifted up his head from a low estate. Okay, so the people that are in power right now, that have all the riches, the connections, everything, they're going to be brought low. Abased means to be brought low. All these global leaders, these politicians, these judges, these mayors, these governors, glory in being a ruler, a noble, having a position of authority and all that. These figureheads, they're going to be abased, brought low, and it says again, and there is that lifted up his head from a low estate. Okay, the humble, the meek and the the low. Okay, those that are in a low estate, they're gonna be they're gonna be exalted. And Lord willing that we are of that number, that we will be exalted in that day, along with the Lord. Okay, verse 12. There is that buyeth much for a little, and repayeth it sevenfold. Verse 13, a wise man by his words maketh himself beloved, but the graces of fools shall be poured out. Verse 14, the gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it, neither yet of the envious for his necessity, for he looketh to receive many things for one. Verse 15, he giveth little and upbraideth much. He openeth his mouth like a crier. Today he lendeth, and tomorrow will he ask it again. Such an one is to be hated of the Most High and man. All right. People that people that ask for so much or so little, but they give nothing in return. People that like to take advantage of others to get what they want. But people like that, ungrateful people, are people who are manipulative. People like that, they should be hated by both the Most High and man. Okay? So when it comes to dealing with people that are, how can I put it, that use others, the best thing to do is to avoid them at all costs. Okay? People who use others, manipulate others, best thing to do with those type of individuals is just cast them aside. Verse I just read 15. This is going to be verse 16. The fool saith, I have no friends, and have no thank for all my good deeds, and all that they eat my bread speak evil of me. Okay? So basically, ungrateful. Being ungrateful. Okay? You know, for all that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua has done for us, you know, having mercy on us to have us keep going, for us to make it this far, you know, be grateful that you get to wake up another day and breathe. Okay? Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua could have took you away in your sleep. One night you could have went to sleep and not wake up again. Okay? Or you could be in the middle of doing something, next thing you know, you just drop. Without no explanation. So, you know, that's the thing, man, you know, be grateful. Be grateful, don't be ungrateful. Okay? Don't speak evil of the Most High. You know, and don't speak evil of someone who's done right by you, you know? Learn to be grateful for those that are willing to help you with the things that you need help with. Okay? Excuse me. But you know, that's the society that we live in. We live in a society full of ungrateful people. Verse 17. It says, How often of how many shall he be laughed to scorn? For he knoweth not aright what it is to have, and it is all one unto him, as if he had it not. Okay? So let me read that again, verse 17. How oft and of how many shall he be laughed to scorn? Okay? How often? How many people shall, you know, mock and scoff you? For he knoweth not aright, for you know not what is right, what it is to have, and it is all one unto him, as if he had it not. So, think about that, man. To be mocked and scoffed, to not know when enough's enough. It's, you know, in this society, one thing I've noticed, especially with social media, it's easy to make a fool out of yourself. And of course, people are going to laugh and this and that, talk shit. And, you know, people find that shit entertaining. I just don't understand that. Like, you make a fool out of yourself on social media platforms to get all these views, all this attention. Is it worth, like, is it really worth, like, is it really worth it to be labeled a clown? My apologies. Is it really worth to be labeled a clown? You know, is it really worth losing your integrity to be labeled a clown just to get attention? Because that's how people are going to see you. They're just going to see you as a joker, a clown, a knucklehead, a goof. Like, would you want that type of reputation? I don't. Verse 18, to slip upon a pavement, it is better, to slip upon a pavement is better than to slip with the tongue. So the fall of the wicked shall come speedily. So it's better to fall on your ass on the floor than to, like I said before, to let your tongue slip and you say something, and like I said, people are watching, people are listening. So whatever that comes out of your mouth, whatever it is, people hear it, and now it just clicks. It's like, okay. So, you know, you got to be careful Like I said, that's why most of the time it's just best to be quiet. Even if you want to say something, just be quiet. Because you don't want to end up making a fool out of yourself, and then, excuse me, and then you'd be mocked, scoffed, and laughed at. You know, basically you embarrass yourself. So, you know, don't be that guy. It's just best to like I said, just best to be quiet and let things be. Okay, so again, verse 19. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. Verse 20, a wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season. Okay? So let me read verse 19 again. An unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. Verse 20, a wise sentence shall be rejected when it cometh out of a fool's mouth, for he will not speak it in due season. Okay? Once again, man, there's a right time to say things, and there's a right time to let things be said, and there's a time to just be quiet. You have to know when to say it, okay? And that right there is a skill itself, is knowing when to say the right things. You just gotta know when that time is right. Like it says, an unseasonable tale will always be in the mouth of the unwise. A tale, a story, a fib, right? Unseasonable. Okay? Verse 21, there is that is hindered from sinning through want, and when he taketh rest, he shall not be troubled. Verse 22, there is that destroyeth his own soul through bashfulness, and by accepting of persons overthroweth himself. 23, there is that for bashfulness promiseth to his friend, and maketh him his enemy for nothing. Verse 24, a lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught. Okay? 25, a thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie, but they both shall have destruction to heritage. So a thief is better than a man that is accustomed to lie. Why is that? Because a thief's gonna tell you straightforward, I'm gonna take this shit, I'm gonna steal it. And a person who lies, you know, they're not gonna tell you the truth. At least a thief is more honest about it. But at the end of the day, they both share the same end, destruction, right? So that right there tells you something. Okay? As it says back in verse 24, a lie is a foul blot in a man, yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught. So a lie is a foul blot. It's a stain. It's a stain on you. So how are people going to trust you if you do nothing but lie? And if they've become so desensitized by your lies, and when you finally tell the truth, they're going to still think you're a liar. Right? So at that point, there's really nothing you could say or do to convince them. Okay? I'm going to go back to we'll go back to verse 21, and it says, there is that is hindered from sinning through want, and when he taketh rest, he shall not be troubled. Okay? Hindered from sinning through want, and when he taketh rest, he shall not be troubled. Okay? Temptation. Okay? You You know, if you feel tempted to do something, though, you got to find something else to, you know, if you're tempted to do something that you know is going off, man, you got to find an alternative. All right? Find something to do to get your mind off of whatever that is. Okay? If you know it's going to be a hindrance, if you know it's going to cause you to go off, you know, do the wrong thing, you know, you got to stop and think for a moment. Because every action, every choice has consequences, right? So when you do something, you know, before you make a move or do something, you have to think about what's going to happen after this is all said and done. Okay, that's called being wise. You have to think about that. Okay? Verse 22. There is that destroyeth his own soul through bashfulness, and by accepting a person's overthroweth himself. Okay? So, verse 23, there is that for bashfulness promiseth to his friend, and maketh him an enemy for nothing. Okay? Making, you know, turning friends into enemies. Okay? You know, by being dishonest, or by, you know, saying the wrong things, you know, turning against others, you know, by talking behind their back, stabbing in the back and all that. You know, it's real easy to make enemies, but it's hard to have a friend. It's really easy. In this society, it is really easy to make enemies. But to have a friend, that is extremely hard. All right, this is verse 26. The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. Verse 27, a wise man shall promote himself to honor with his words, and he that hath understanding will please great men. Okay? So a liar, dishonorable, and shame is ever with him, while a wise man promote himself to honor with his words. So a wise man is not going to lie. He's going to keep his integrity, be upright, and be honest. Okay? Okay, so that right there goes to show the difference between the honorable and the dishonorable, where we both stand at the end of the day. Excuse me, my illness is just really kicking my ass right now. So, verse 28, it says, let's see. Verse 20, he that tilleth his land shall increase his heap, and he that pleaseth great men shall get pardon for iniquity. Verse 29, presents and gifts blind the eyes of the wise. Okay, bribery. That's what clouds your better judgment, okay? You know, these people are willing to take a bribe, then they keep their integrity, okay? They can give 2 fucks less about stating their name, okay? They think that bribery gain is worth more than what, you know, not taking it is, you know? That's another thing too. Excuse me. Bribery. Okay? We're not to take gift or reward, okay? We can't let people bribe us, because that's going to make us look like, you know, like we have no integrity. It's going to make us look, you know, crooked, hypocritical, you know? Okay, so let's see. Going back to verse 28, he that tilleth his land shall increase his heap. So those that continue to work will increase in their labor. Okay, they will gain. And he that pleaseth great men shall get pardon for iniquity. Okay, great men, wise men that have knowledge, wisdom, understanding, experience. Verse 29, presence and gift blind the eyes of the wise, and stop up his mouth that he cannot reprove. So So again, bribery, don't allow yourself to be put in that position, man. Okay? We don't accept bribery, nor do we ourselves try to bribe people. Verse 30, wisdom that is hid and treasure that is hoarded up, what profit is it in them both? Verse 31, better is he that hideth his folly than a man that hideth his wisdom. So it would be better to hide your mistakes and your stupidity than for a man to hide, his wisdom, his experience, his knowledge. Okay? Yeah, of course, you're going to hide your folly, your stupidity, your mistakes, your embarrassing moments because you don't want people to know about that stuff. Because it's going to, you don't know how that person's going to react. You don't know if they're going to tell others. And then, excuse me, like you said, it all goes back to your own reputation, man. Okay, so verse 32, it says, necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. So, being in this truth requires patience. Okay? You can't rush this thing. You can't be impatient. Okay? You just have to just keep living your life as if it's just going to keep going. Because we know not the time nor the day when the Lord's going to make his return. We don't know. All we can do is just keep watch. Okay? We don't watch none of that CNN, CBS, or MSNBC, or Fox News because we all know that shit is fake. We go to other alternative platforms where people are actually speaking more truth than lies. Like YouTube, TikTok, hell, even Instagram. Rumble. Other channels that you can, find out more of what's actually going on rather than listen to the news. The news media is just going to continue, and that's what the word media goes back to, Medea, which is the goddess of illusions, which means that, illusion, it's not real, it's not true, it's a lie. And you can look that up, media. Media, the goddess of illusions. And people don't, and that's another thing too, people don't understand the origin of words, the etymology of words. Where does this word come from? Okay? What does it mean? Okay? So it's because of our necessary patience that we're able to understand, understand that this is a race. Okay? It's not like a race to see who reaches the finish line first. It's a race because we all have the same goal in mind, to get out, to be the first on those chariots, and to receive mercy and salvation, to earn our crown, to earn our place with Yahweh Shai. But this is a race. Every day you're making those steps to improve yourself, to receive, approval from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Salakia. My allergies are just kicking my ass right now. Let's see here. All right, so this is gonna be oh man. There we go. I just had it. It's lucky I just had it right there. Okay, so it says here. Okay, so this is Luke chapter 21. I'm going to start at verse 22. Luke 21 and 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Okay? Verse 23, but woe unto them that are with child. And to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. So woe unto them that are with child, that are pregnant, and that give suck to them in those days, breastfeeding. For there shall be great distress in the land. And there is going to be great distress. When this collapse happens, man, excuse me, everybody's going to feel the pain. Even the elect, we're going to go through it, but we're not going to have it as bad as, Lord willing that we're a part of it, that we're not going to have it as bad as these people out here in the world. Okay? Okay, so verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And the time of the Gentiles, which is the natural heathen, to be fulfilled, that time is almost up. Okay? Their time is just about up. Okay? They've just about had their fill of being in rulership. Okay? They've just about had their fill of ruling over us. Okay? Verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Okay? There's going to be such great distress in this land, man. Men's hearts failing them from fear. People are being scared to death. They're going to be running to and fro looking for answers. Not being able to understand what, why this is all happening. And then they're going to realize in that day that a prophet hath been among them, because they're going to remember the men out here on the highways and byways, on the street corners that have been preaching and teaching this word. They're going to remember all the things that we have said, all the things that we have told you were going to happen. They're now happening. So, why is it, it's funny because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, he's right. I mean, we are his servants, the prophets. We are his mouthpiece, right? So why is it, especially for you, Jake, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, you'll listen to Pastor Porkchop and Deacon and good old Deacon deep fried catfish. That'll speak unto you those smooth things, speak to you deceit, right? Because that's what you like to hear. You like being told what you want to hear, not being told what you need to hear. Okay? That's your problem. You want people to talk to you about nice things, uplifting things, not about the doom and gloom. Well, guess what? We're about the doom and gloom. Okay, we're about the truth. And right now, the way things are, this is the time of doom and gloom, whether you like it or not. We're not here to coddle your feelings. We're not here to, we're here to tell you the truth, no matter how much it hurts. We're here to tell you the truth. Luke chapter 21, verse. And again, there have been signs in the sun and in the moon and the stars, okay? Okay. The Lord has shown quite a few blood moons in the past year or so. Okay? The blood moons, signifying that it's going to be a bad time that's coming. An evil time, and only evil. And verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory. And that cloud is talking about a chariot. He's going to come in a big ship. And they're going to all see him. Everybody's going to see Yahawashi in his glorified state. Okay? As the scriptures say that, he will not meet thee as a man. Okay? And what that means is that the next time we see him, he's going to be in his original estate, as a second in command to his Father. That's been given all power and authority in heaven and in the earth. So that right there tells you, when the Son of Man comes, Lord willing, we be of the elect, it's going to be terrifying, but it's going to be glorious. But ultimately for the people this world, it's going to be more terrifying than anything. Verse 20, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Okay? So our redemption draweth nigh. There's been more UFOs, so-called UFO sightings, and we all know that those so-called UFOs are the chariots of the Lord. Okay? They're being piloted by the angels. And the angels, whatever they see, hear, they report back to the Father. Okay? Eyes and ears. You see and you hear. Okay? That's their job. The angels just do their job without question, without hesitation, without concern. Okay? They follow Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Verse 29. And he spake to them in a parable, behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves, that summer is now nigh at hand. Verse 30, so likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. Okay? When you see a lot of, all hell breaking loose, and you've all seen films of post-apocalyptic events like Mad Max, the Purge, Doomsday, The Road, so on and so forth, the end times. And in the movie The End Times, I'm just going to tell you this straight up, you women, what I saw happen in that movie The End Times, be prepared. And and you know what I'm talking about, what's going to happen. These men are not going to show you no fucking mercy. You can cry, beg, and plead all you want. These men out here that you rejected, put behind bars, or the lives of the men that you've ruined financially, or just all across the board. Trust me, these men have a lot of aggression and pent-up rage that they're saving just for you women. Okay? You women are going to get it the worst out here. Okay? For all your bullshit. Okay? This society, America, this place is meant to exalt the woman and to put the man down. And that's another thing too about your women. You don't know when enough is enough. You don't realize when you've already won. And when you've already won, you're still not fucking satisfied. Now I can see why you and Esau do belong together, Eve. It's never enough for you. And you're about to find out, Eve, just how much this devil Esau Edom You're about to find out. You're about to find out just how much this motherfucker don't care about you. All you so-called black women, Latina women, Native American women, Seminole Indian women, and the speckled bird women of the nation of Israel, you're about to find out just how much these other nations, especially Esau Edom, you're about to find out just how much he really does not care about you. Verse 32, verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Okay? Verse 33, heaven and earth shall not pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Okay? Verse 34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and cares for this life, so that the day come upon you unawares. Okay? So the day that, don't get caught up in the cares of this life, man. As the scriptures say, man, this place is just, yeah, we got to do what we got to do to handle our business in the society, go to work, pay our bills, and this and that. But at the same token, at the same time, keep your mind on this, okay? Because, this right here, like I said, this life, man, there's no point. No point in caring, because what you mainly have to focus on is just paying attention to what's going on through the word. So this is Luke chapter 21 verse.
Are you doing like a show podcast?
Huh?
Doing like a podcast?
Yeah, I'm just doing camp, just preaching the Bible, and you know that America is Babylon, right? That this place is about to be destroyed.
Hopefully we're all good and happy before that happens, right?
Hey, hope Lord, huh?
God bless you.
Bless you too. Have a good one. All right. So, where was it? Oh yes. So that so that day doesn't come upon you unawares, man. You gotta watch as well as pray, man. You gotta keep watch, because this thing could pop up at any moment. It could happen when you're at work. It could happen when you're just visiting a friend. It could happen when, let's say, you go on vacation, you go to another state or another country, and you just travel or whatever. It could happen right then and there. No, you gotta keep watch, man. The best thing to do is to get up, go to work, and come home. I mean, if you got other things to do outside of that, like going to the gym or whatnot, okay, that's cool. I'm not gonna stop you from doing that, but just always watch your back. Okay, Luke 21 and 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Verse 36. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Okay? Watch ye therefore and pray, that you may be able to, accounted worthy to escape all these horrors. Okay? There's going to be a lot of people out here. As a matter of fact, here, excuse me. Take a look at this. Take a look at all this. Even though this is not a very big, just using this as an example to show you, man. These streets are going to be littered with bodies. These buildings are going to be torn down, set on fire. Vehicles are going to be ransacked. It's going to be dead in these streets. That's all there is. It's just death. And think about that. Bodies littered in the streets. The stench of death, dead bodies. It's going to be horrible. The wicked, the unjust will be cast out into the streets like dung, man, like shit. It's gonna be a nightmare, all right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 24. It says, "For the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee." Okay, so for the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker. So aren't we not the creature that serveth the maker? Okay. Okay, are we not that creature that serveth the maker, who is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai? We that serveth the maker increaseth our strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in him and in thee. So we keep our strength as long as we keep our trust. We keep our strength and faith as long as we keep our trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Even in those times where even in those times where, you know, it's dangerous, it's scary, you gotta gird up your loins like a man, let your nutsack hang. You gotta have faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai as you move. Okay? And trust me, fear of the unknown, that's the one thing that gets people, is fear of the unknown. Like, you know, what's gonna happen? How is it gonna go down? What's gonna happen to me? You know, you can't be in that spirit. You can't be in that what if spirit. You can't be in that spirit of, you know, doubt or what ifs. You gotta walk with, you know, a surety. Okay? Knowing that the Lord's got you. You have to have it in your spirit and your mind to be rest assured that the Lord, He's not gonna let you down. Yet in some situations in Jacob's trouble, there's gonna be times where it seems like the Lord has left you. But not so. Okay, that's the Lord testing your faith and your patience, because we're coming in the trying times. We're coming into those times where it just seems like, fuck, man. You know, why is this happening to me? Why? There's going to be times when you're going to be super fucking frustrated. There's going to be times where you're just going to be like, ugh. There's going to be times where you're just going to seem like you're at your wit's end, but, you know, you can't give up. Because the moment you quit, you know, the roughly paraphrasing in scripture, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So basically, the Lord is calling you a weakling. You're weak. But then again, you know, I'm going to read that again. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 24. "For the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee." Verse 25, "Therefore even then was it altered into all fashions, and was obedient to thy grace that nourisheth all things, according to the desire of them that had need." Verse 26, "That thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word which preserveth them, and put their trust in thee." So there you go. And also the scriptures also say that man shall not live by bread alone, but by the word. This right here is what sustains you, okay? This is what sustains you. This is what keeps you going. This is what keeps you living, okay? Okay, you have to understand that. It is by the word and by putting your faith and trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that He keeps you going. Remember, you can eat all the healthiest food you want, work out as much as you want, have all the water to drink, to keep yourself stuffed, healthy, and going. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is the one that's keeping you alive. Okay? It doesn't matter how healthy you are or unhealthy, the Lord can still just take you away, just like that. Okay? The only way you're going to stay in this is through this. This is your only hope, your only chance. So you can't fuck this up. You know, in the time, especially in the time that we're in, we really have to be aware of these people, no matter how nice they may seem to you. In fact, that's why the scripture before I get that scripture, let me read down. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to go down. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 29. It says, "For the hope of the unfaithful shall melt away as the winter's hoarfrost. It shall run away as unprofitable water." Okay? So the hope of the unfaithful shall melt away as the winter's hoarfrost. So, you know how snow, when it melts, it just melts in the water and just moves along. That's how it is going to be for the 2/3 of our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. Okay, you're going to melt away like the winter's hoarfrost and be that unprofitable, that undesirable water, waste water. Yeah, waste. Because that's all you 2/3 are, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians. The tribe of Judah all the way down to the tribe of Issachar. 2/3 of you are nothing but waste. Okay? You're unprofitable, you're undesirable, you know. The Lord doesn't want to have anything to do with you. In fact, let me go up a few scripts here. This is same book, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 or 16. 16 verse 16. "For the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm. With strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through the fire were they consumed." Okay? So for the ungodly that denied to know thee, the 2/3, you know, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai had to come down hard on you, destroy you, judge you. Excuse me. Because you refuse to do one thing, and what is that? You refuse to repent. You refuse to listen. You refuse to hearken. You refuse to hearken unto the word. You refuse to hearken unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. That's the fucking problem. You refuse to hearken unto him. That's why you're in the position that you're in right now. And Lord willing, that I myself, as well as the sincere Akim Akwath, don't have a place among, don't have a place being numbered amongst the 2/3. Because that would be the ultimate shame, to die here, to die a horrible, miserable, painful death. That would be the ultimate shame. And for a time in the kingdom, I'll have to loathe myself. No, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. I don't want to be a part of that. But at the end of the day, this is the Heavenly Father's story. It's his will, his way. So that's why coming into this truth, man, you have to humble yourself. Throw that pride out the window. Okay? If you really, truly in your heart, if you really, truly want to make that much of a difference being in this truth, you have to accept the fact that you don't know a damn thing. You have to admit that you were wrong. And you have to forget what you think you know and be retaught all over again. Okay? As newborn babes coming into the world, they have to grow, and of course they have to learn the basic scripts. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. See if I can find give me a second. Oh boy. Salakia, my nose is just, my allergies are just killing me today. This illness is really getting to me. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. Slakia. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. It says, "Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." Okay? So we have liberty through this. Okay? And what is that liberty from? Liberty from, being a slave in the mind. So from being a slave in the mind, okay? We're not, how do I put it? We're no longer, deceived by the lies. We're no longer, controlled by sin. Okay, and we're no longer deceived. We're no longer under that dark veil. We now see what's really going on here. Verse 18. "But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image, from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord." Okay? So you have to remember, Yahweh Shai, He is the standard. Okay? He's that image that we all have to model ourselves after, because He's the standard of life. He's the standard for us all. Okay? Verse 17, I'll read verse 17 again. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 17. "Now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." Okay? And the Spirit of the Lord is with the prophets and the sincere believers and listeners, right? Okay? He's with the men that are out here on the highways and byways. Okay, we're here to free you from this Stockholm syndrome. We're here to free you from the fucking from this man's news media that tells you nothing but lies every day. Okay, we're here to tell you the truth, to wake you up and let you know who the enemy really is here. This is not our rest. We're not meant to build here. This is a place we are meant to suffer. This is hell. This is the grave. Okay? This place is the fucking grave. Okay? Now let's see here. So, let's see. We go to and here's another thing too right here. This is going to be this is 1 Timothy chapter 4 verse 1. And now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Okay? We already have a lot of people that are dropping out of the truth because they can't handle this walk. This walk is not easy. This is the hardest thing that we have to do. Okay? This is the hardest thing that we have to do. And sure, there are times when we have our ups and downs, but still, we have to keep pushing because the Lord called us into this, so we got to keep moving. We got to keep on our grind, keep our hand to the plow, keep reading, keep reading, keep studying. Keep studying, and you know, walk more in the way of the Lord, man. It's not an easy walk. Think about how Yahweh Shai felt when he was on the scene back then. All the bullshit he had to deal with. Okay? Being laughed at, being mocked and scoffed, being told that he was a weirdo, a creep, or what, just any name every name under the sun. And having to deal with the 2/3 of our people from back then. Yeah, so think about how Yahweh Shai felt. He was tested constantly. You know, what is it a man what is it to a man to have gained the whole world but yet to lose his soul, roughly paraphrasing? What is that? Like, what is it to gain everything in this society, but at the end of it all you end up dying? Was it worth it? So, you know, some people are going to depart from this and go back into the world and start believing in worldly philosophies, going back to these false religions that they were supposed to get away from, you know, going back to being what they were before they came into this. Verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with the hot iron. So having their conscience seared with the hot iron, okay? Meaning no matter how much you try to drill this into their head and show them with historical evidence and facts, their conscience is seared with the hot iron. They're not going to get it. That just means that, you know, it wasn't meant for them. When you stand to walk in the way of the Lord, man, and when you see brothers that you were with, brothers and sisters that you were with that have been with you in this, and all of a sudden they turn their back on you or they turn against you, that right there is just showing you that the Lord is not dealing with them. He's not with them. He didn't choose them. So don't be so surprised. Don't be surprised. This is not a regular race. This is a race of patience and endurance. Okay? So, whew. And it's been a long time coming. Let's see. I'm gonna close out here in a minute. Just give me a second. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5. Okay. Good gosh. All right, so this is Ephesians 5:15, and it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil." Okay? So make the best of this time in fasting, praying, and studying, and getting more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And as you gain more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, it becomes easier for you to maneuver. It becomes easier for you to know better and how to maneuver in this society. This is what's going to teach you how to be a man, and especially in this society. How to be, wise as a serpent, yet harmless as a dove, but at the same time, maintain your integrity. Okay? And that's another thing about this society. This society cannot allow can't allow a man to be a man. Okay? But hell, they'll let a woman do whatever the fuck she wants. But when it comes to being a man, no. That just goes to show you the times that we're living in. All right, with that, Salakia, I'm still under the weather. Sorry for all that mess earlier with the spitting. It's just my allergies have been clogging me up, but Lord willing, that this was an edifying camp lesson. All right, and closing, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayat, the Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, wa abababal, shalom, barakatam.